guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing swatch comparisons of the Huda Beauty Empowered Palette and the Natasha Denona My Dream Palette. A lot of these people around IG were talking about how they looked very similar, almost too similar. So since I have both, I wanted to do some swatch comparisons with you all. My game plan is to open them up, do comparisons of the shades that I feel like look similar in the pan so we can see how similar or not similar they are. And then I'm going to completely swatch them out side by side so you can see for yourself the similarities or the lack thereof. I hope this will be helpful to you guys if you're trying to pick between or decide if you want both. That's kind of the purpose of this video. I just want it to be educational and helpful for you as you move forward with your purchase. But if you're new here, hey, my name is Megan. I post every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Please do subscribe. I feel like we have a pretty good time here. And yeah, let's go ahead and get this swatch party started. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm gonna do this to the best of my ability. It might end up being a mess, but I'm gonna try. This is something new for me as well. So over here we have the Natasha Denona My Dream Palette, and then over here we have the Huda Beauty Empowered Palette. Like I mentioned, I'm gonna go ahead first and reach for shades that I feel look kind of similar in the pan so that we can compare those first. So I'm gonna just kind of do like an overview. And the first one that pops up is this Carpe Diem shade and then this shade Rebel. I feel like in the pan they look kind of similar. So I'm gonna swatch the Carpe Diem shade out here. And then I'm gonna swatch the Rebel shade beside it. Yeah. And while, I don't know if you guys can tell on your end, but they do look fairly similar. This is one of her cream to powder, so the texture is definitely different. I feel like this one is a smidge like brown, like more brown toned, but honestly, they are very similar. I feel like these shades could definitely be a dupe for one another. The next shade that kind of looks similar to me is this Nurture shade here. And then this shade here, which is Big Dreams. That's what they look like. Oop, I'll put you out of the frame. And I feel, I want to stand up here so I can see what you're saying. I feel like this one is much more purple toned, while this one is much more cool toned. So again, while they're kind of similar, they are definitely different. The next one that kind of caught my eye that looked similar was this Unity shade and then this Power shade. I thought they looked kind of similar, so we're gonna swatch those two. Oh, okay, yeah, and as you can see, those are actually not similar at all. Those look completely different. The next one that I kind of thought might be a little bit similar was this Aspiration shade and this Confident shade. So we're going to swatch those. And I definitely think those are similar. But again, this one, I feel like this one has more of like a black base, I think. So it's a lot cooler, a lot deeper. While as this one, I feel like has more of a brown base. So they're kind of similar, but I really don't think they are at all. Like if you're a pretty avid eyeshadow palette consumer, like myself, then like for me, like these are not even close to the same. I feel like these two are definitely closer in similarities than these two. I think these are pretty different from one another. The next shade I wanted to swatch out was this Worthy shade, which is the gel liner. And I wanted to swatch that by these two to see. And yeah, no. I almost feel like this one is more similar to that one than it is to this one in its own palette, which I guess is good. But this is like a really dark plum purple with like a black base. So I feel like it's definitely more similar to this one, but obviously the consistencies are extremely different. Whereas this is used as like a gel liner. This is a matte powdered shadow. The next ones that I thought that would be kind of potentially similar was this Vision shade, which is a duochrome, and the Courageous shade, which is also a duochrome. And these are not similar literally at all. I know when I was doing my look in yesterday's video, I was like, oh, they might be similar. No. Not even close to similar. They are very different by far. And then I think the other one I wanted to swatch, and this will be, I think, the last one, was this Thrill shade. I thought looked kind of similar to this Manifest shade, which obviously, again, these textures are extremely different. But even then, we have, you know, a completely different shade. Even if I swatch this Spontaneous shade, it's not even really close in my opinion. So yeah, those are all of the shades that I thought looked pretty familiar in the palette. Actually, let's do this Familia shade and this Legacy shade. Oh yeah, no. See how this one is so much warmer in compared to that one? I don't know if you guys can see. But this one is just so much darker in tone than this one, and you're really gonna see that on the eyes because this is gonna pull just so much warmer. So yeah, I feel like, because I kind of did this the other day when I was swatching out my Huda palette, and then I was like, you know, I'm gonna just pull this out really quick and swatch a few that I think could be similar, and I realized how completely different they are. Like, you know, they might look like they have some color similarities in the pan, but once you get them swatched out, I don't think we really have any similarities at all. I am going to wash this off, and then I will be back to completely swatch out each palette on my arm so you can completely see them together. Okay, so now I have both color stories completely swatched out. For starters, I just think we have, like, the textures in the Huda palette are so much different than the textures in the Natasha palette. Like, it's just completely different. When you get them swatched together, side by side, I do see where some of these cooler tones can pull you in and make it seem like they're more similar than they really are. Because like I said, I mean, I swatched the shades that looked similar, and once we got them side by side, like, they were not that similar at all, in my opinion. So I really think that these palettes are quite different. You might be able to get some toned, like some looks that have similar tones vibing together with these, but I really just think that they're different. And you have different pops of variety. Like, you know, with this one, you have these more orangey shades and you have these golds. And then with this one, you have these pinky purpley shades. And the shift in the multi-chrome has a much stronger green shift than this one. This one has like a very light green. It's more of a reddish brown kind of situation. But yeah, I thought this was really interesting to compare these because so many people thought they were too similar, but I really just don't think that they are. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments now that you've seen them both completely swatched out. If you feel like, you know, they're similar enough or they're not that similar. I would be really curious to know your take on this. But yeah, overall, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!